Hello, everybody, and we're back for another episode of Always Almost There, day after show live. We're here for night one of the Days Between Festival in New Orleans. I am joined today by these two fine gentlemen from the Gray Street Pod. How are you guys doing?
We are great. We are ready to roll for night two.
Oh, yeah. Had a blast night one, ready for more.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys are at the festival right now. If anyone hears in the background, George Porter Jr. is currently playing very loudly, might I add. You guys said there's some serious volume happening.
Yeah, we kind of thought that yesterday, too, when Lawrence was playing. It was so loud, and it seemed like they were louder than Goose later on in the night. I was kind of like, they seemed overly loud, and Goose was like mixed perfectly. Yeah. So I don't know if it's different just because different sound people. I don't really know. But yeah, it does seem like that they are way turned up right now.
Interesting. All right. Well, we're going to get going anyway. We're going to talk about last night's show a little bit. Before we get to that, of course, a quick word from our sponsor, who is Beekeepers Naturals. Powered by nature and obsessively tested, Beekeepers uses potent ingredients like propolis, pollen, and royal jelly and steers clear of added chemicals. In a day and age where we want to boost our immune system as much as possible, Beekeepers Naturals has many products from lozenges to gut health supplements to support us and tap into the magic of nature. Personally, I don't leave home without one of their propolis throat sprays, which is especially supportive when singing my heart out at a show. Use code STORMSOUND at checkout for 20% off your order at beekeepersnaturals.com. So, without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the Days Between Festival here. You guys take me through your experience getting there yesterday, getting in, what the first few acts were like before Goose.
Nolan?
First reaction, I mean, loved it. Loved everything about it. It was my second time seeing them live. Bruce's first time. So that was exciting. Man, I mean, so many great moments. But yeah, I saw a lot of songs that I wanted to see. They were in like my top 10 of songs I wanted to see. And
love it.
I mean, we can get into like later, but I mean, Tumble was big time.
Oh yeah,
I agree. But we'll get to that. I want to hear about your day leading up to it at the Days Between Festival. You know, what was like
Nolan
getting in.
Thought that he might miss his flight coming into New Orleans because of the first flight delay.
Oh.
And then once we got here, everything was good. The festival setup is awesome. Massive brewery with just, I mean, I don't know what they do with all this land and area when they don't have a festival because it's just it's massive. They've got 2 stages. We've got a nice little area where you can kind of nature walk around a little pond. Disc golf. So for all you froth fans, there's frothing. We're over in some trees over kind of by the highway, and the stage is pretty far away, but it's still pretty loud. But yeah, it's a fantastic setup. We're by the porta potties as well. There's a ton of those. Merch, inside, outside drinks, food trucks, some other kind of like homemade merch, kind of like you're a little bit of
we get a humidity report.
We've got some hippie gear.
We got what? Sorry?
I said we've got some hippie gear selling in here, so you've got your own areas for some of that.
But the beer's great. Festival at a brewery is the way to go.
I love it. That's awesome. Glad to hear it's a positive experience. We have a question about the humidity.
Oh, it's negligible. None, honestly.
Perfect weather.
Yeah, I live in Florida, and I can't believe how good it feels right now.
Amazing. I love to hear it. So talk me through now getting to, right before Goose started, what the vibe was like in the crowd, if it was a lot bigger than it had been earlier in the day or about the same.
A lot bigger. So we actually went over right as Tank and the Bangas started on the smaller stage. And some people had gravitated over there, but we went up and we were 3 people from the rail, Trevor side. I mean, awesome spot. Probably what, an hour or so before they came on, honestly. And then after that, I mean, within 30 minutes, it had filled in a lot. And within 15 minutes of when Goose came on, we looked back and we were like, oh, okay. Like, we hadn't looked back in a while. We've been sitting down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was way more full. So it packed in, and right now there's still not all that many people here. You can tell that people are they're here for Goose. And you can tell that by the fan reactions too. But people are here having fun, but it really packed in come Goose time.
Not a bad spot here either to see. I mean, we moved around a little bit in the second set, and I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
Glad to hear. Yeah, very, very, very glad to hear about that. We were trying to figure out what kind of the capacity of the festival was, because it was kind of hard to tell. Do you guys
Very
know?
hard.
I'm horrible at eyeballing stuff like that, but
I would say for Goose there was probably a couple thousand.
Nice.
Yeah.
There definitely wasn't. I don't think it was under 1,000, but it's not like 5,000 or anything like that. I would guess between 1,500 and 2,000.
We have a question. Where is Gray Street located?
Let's see. I guess at the corner of Gray Street and the end of the world.
Yep.
If you're Dave Matthews literate at all, you'd probably get that. But that's where it would be.
There we go.
So nowhere is the correct answer.
Yep.
There we go. All right. Well, let's get into this show a little bit. We open up first few songs: Drive, Dr. Darkness, Tumble. Not sure how much you guys have been following along with Goose Spring Tour, but two of these songs at least, and I said Tumble, I meant Turbulence. Drive, Dr. Darkness, Turbulence. Drive and Turbulence both showing up after very short gaps again for another play, which was kind of surprising, but that's like a hallmark of festival season, these kind of unpredictable set lists, short gaps on popular songs. So I'm curious to hear what the vibe was like during these opening few songs, because I'm sure people weren't super concerned about the show gap like we are. But these are great songs, and I think, great way to start off a show.
Great way to start the show, and like a nice way to ease into it, I think. I told Bruce when Drive started, I was like, I always forget about this song, but it's great. So that was exciting to see. And then one of my favorites is Dr. Darkness and Turbulence. So,
amazing.
Great vibes.
Amazing.
Vibes.
Vibes were high.
Yeah. Oh, vibes were high. And it was, not that those songs are slow by any means, but just a nice ease in before you get to some really interesting stuff. I hate to say more interesting because everything's really interesting. But playing a couple of like newer-ish songs newer-ish to the audience, probably with Darkness and Turbulence, was really awesome. And all three of those songs, they just pack a good punch on the second half of it.
Yeah.
And that was just a good way to warm the crowd up.
I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of people were singing along to Turbulence. Like,
oh yeah,
it was a good sing-along song, which I
got
was
good hooks.
surprised by, but that was fun.
Yeah, it's got good hooks for sure. I love all three of these songs in the first set for sure. And then after Turbulence, we get one of the two kind of big extended jams of the night in this All I Need, which has really had an excellent year so far. There have been a ton of incredible standout versions. This one was great. I really like, they kind of get into this space sometimes where it's like on the edge of light and dark, and it's just this minor key shreddy zone that they really got into last night. And I think Rick's tone on his new guitar is sounding absolutely amazing. I really, really liked the way this All I Need sound. I'm excited to hear it when we do get the boards. Unfortunately, Peter's piano was mixed a little low on the webcast last night, so it was difficult to hear at times. But I'm curious, what did you guys think of the song? Throwing it over you.
I was really hoping to see it. I had pegged it as an opener earlier in the day and then changed it to slot 2, so I missed it. We did our own, I guess, like, I know there's Fantasy Goose, but we did our own fantasy for this weekend. And so got it, but missed by a spot. You spotted Turbulence, I think. No, Dr. Darkness. Darkness.
Nice.
But yeah, Rick was, like you said, teetering on that edge a lot last night through all 3 or 4 of the bigger jams, especially. And it also seemed like he kind of was messing around with the tones on his guitar, since it is a new guitar, a little bit more, turning some knobs, getting on the floor, pressing a couple more pedals, and then when he would lock in, he kind of took that step back, and you could tell he was feeling it. And this was, we were hoping that they were about to go into a jam, I think you said. the next one's going to be a jam, and they started All I Need immediately, and boy was it. They just locked in, and we didn't even know it was, I think, what was it, 22, 23 minutes?
It was like 21, 22-ish.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you know, another one of those where you feel like it was maybe a 15-minute or something like that, where you just, much happened, and good stuff to where you just didn't even care. And, you know, it could have gone for 30 for all we cared. It was awesome.
I feel like it was also the first point in the show where, like, I became very aware of Trevor. And being like right in front of him, I mean, he was just like dropping some bombs that just shook the earth.
So have you seen them in 2023 yet before last night?
No.
So this is the year of Big T.
Okay. Big T. He's sounding great.
He's been so present in the mix all year. You know, he's been so present in jams all year. So yes, you experienced the year of Big T last night. Congratulations.
Yeah, the earth-shattering feeling from him multiple times was awesome. Like, obviously hearing him on, you know, listen to almost most of the shows, and that comes through extremely well. But when you feel it in person, literally all over the grounds too, no matter where we walk, you could feel it when he would, you know, hit one of those, you know, right on the nose. And that was one
of those huge ones that that's actually Jeff hitting a sample.
One of those are good too.
Yeah. So it's funny to now try to tell the difference between a Trevor bomb and a Jeff bomb.
Oh, great. Now we're going to have to know the difference.
Yeah.
I love that.
Be on the lookout
two
for
separate,
tonight.
you know. There's a lot of things to keep track of. For sure. So, after All I Need, first set finishes off with Earthling or Alien and Animal. Both fun songs, you know, not a ton to dive into here. I kind of thought, sorry for everyone with the audio, trying to balance out the background music at the festival, making sure we can hear everything. Earthling or Alien was like, started off the year as such a consistent jam vehicle. You know, we had the Cat version, we had the Boston version, and then it's kind of shortened since then. We've had like a run of 10, 11 minute versions that are great, funky jams. But I'm curious if there's a conscious thing by the band, why they're not taking it out for a little longer anymore. But you know, great funk action, little bit of grime in the first set, if you will. And then Animal to close it out. Of course, always a great festival song. Always a great pick for, you know, crowd having fun, working their abdominals, as it were. I personally think that especially at a festival, if you're looking to get the crowd moving to an Animal, 5-minute Animal, like they played last summer a few times, that's the way to go, as opposed to like the more extended, you know, 10 to 13-minute version they've been doing recently. To me, it's more efficient. It gets to the point, and it's like, here's this rockin', you know, catchy song that we're gonna play, instead of, you know, kind of going off in this laid back groove, which is cool, but doesn't really fit, I feel like, in a set list where they have more of a limited time like they did last night. But that's just my take on it. What did you guys think of Earthling and Animal?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Earthling was funky. That was really cool. Short, but that hit the spot. That was exactly what we needed. And then Animal, it was a little more extended than I thought it was going to be. And it almost teetered on the line of, we're going to take this for a little longer walk. Like, it almost seemed like it was going to go type 2 for a moment.
Yeah.
Kind of ventured there, and then they brought it back and ventured there. It was like a little tease. But it was awesome. It was one we were hoping to see. We really like that song. And that was you're jamming, dude.
We may have to pause the pod for a few minutes and just listen to George Porter Jr.
They turned it up. I feel like they just got louder for this song. It is
They got so loud for this song. Yeah. I could hardly hear what you were saying, but I know we were talking about Earthling or Alien and Animal.
Yes.
Animal, though, one thing I've noticed, I feel like Peter was going like super hard on the Animal noises for like maybe like late 2022, early 23. I only counted one elephant noise.
There was an elephant
at the end, and so that was exciting.
It's all those are always fun to hear. So now take me through set break. We've only got a couple shows left with our bathroom segment, of course. So tell us about the bathroom situation at Days Between at the brewery. Is it good?
I mean, we've got probably 20-ish porta potties, maybe more, 20, 25. So that was fine. We didn't have to wait ever. And they're porta potties. Like they're not. I don't know how often they clean them. Not like they clean them at the gorge, which is quite often. So the gorge porta potties are actually pretty nice with campgrounds. But anyways, these were fine. And then inside are the VIP ones. We don't have that kind of coin, so we didn't have VIP.
Right.
But we got some dinner, whatever food truck stuff. They have 4 or 5 food trucks here. I had a great spicy Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
I was gonna say, do they have shrimp gumbo?
Oh, we didn't get shrimp gumbo. I see the question.
No shrimp gumbo.
No idea. So have no idea.
Oh, hi, Ryan.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
That's Ryan Legvold. He's going to be on the pod tomorrow.
We didn't hear you.
That's Ryan Legvold. He's going to be on the pod tomorrow to recap tonight's show.
Excellent. Well, then he knows.
He knows.
Now we have to, so.
He knows. Exactly. Well, awesome. I love that he came by.
That's hilarious.
So what else were the vibes like at set break? Did you guys stay up at the front? I know you mentioned you moved around at the second set.
We got our food and we moved. We moved a little further back to right in front of soundboard-ish area, right in front of that fence.
And left middle, a little back, had plenty of room. More room than we did up front. People were definitely grooving up front and enjoying their space to groove. So we were like, all right, let's back it up a little bit for set 2 and just take it all in.
Yeah, their own claimed personal space. It wasn't actually their own space, but yeah.
I love that.
That happens.
Love when that happens.
But yeah, it was perfect. Like we settled in there, and people would filter in and out too, which sometimes you get even closer, an inch, another 4 or 5 feet closer. So, I mean, man, it was. If you're in a venue, it's like you've got really close lower seats. I mean, it's like I don't know how many more times we'll be that close for Goose on the cheap.
Right.
It's tough to beat, and it was like, I mean, you could even just stand to the side up front, and like there was nobody up on the side, and that's kind of what I had done. I saw the Raleigh show last summer, and set 2 just kind of made my way up front, and saw a great show, and I got to mention it now. So I saw the Madhavan that won.
You were there. You were there for the Madhavan.
My first show, Hunger Side opener. Madhavan set 1 closer like that. Unreal.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. I love it.
It's taken us longer than would like to see shows. I mean, it's been since 2018 or 19 for me, listening to and being a fan, and being in like Jacksonville, Florida area. We really don't get shows in North Carolina. They don't come there too often, so they were right down the road from me. You had to go. So we had to make this trip happen. It was just like, we don't know. I don't know when they're coming. Like they'll go to Halloween in Florida, which isn't too far from me, but you have to buy like a 3 or 4 day pass, and that's rough.
Right. Exactly. Awesome. Well, glad you guys were able to make it out. Let's talk about this second set here. Let's start off talking about this tumble, because this is an absolutely phenomenal tumble. I can't wait to re-listen to it when we get those borfs. Yes, sorry, I mistakenly said boards earlier. That's my bad. But I can't wait to listen to this. The unmistakable sound of a Ted Tapes jam, but not one that we could place. We named it Aardvark. Shout out to Captain Incredible. Named it Aardvark last night, and so we're going with the Aardvark jam. In this tumble last night. Disclaimer, that's not a real thing. That's just us bullshitting for anyone who may be wondering. But this is a phenomenal jam. It was going along in a pretty standard tumble groove, and Rick seemed to cue something, and then they went out into this very atmospheric and TED-like space. You had some amazing clav work from Peter, not the usual like shreddy clav that I also love so much. But more like textural with some delay on it, like just really amazing use of the instrument. And I always forget that it can be used in that way because it doesn't happen as often, but it sounds amazing, in the spacier sections, in that kind of mode. So I'm curious what you guys felt about this tumble, because it was absolutely phenomenal from the couch.
So it was so good. It was, I mean,
Unreal.
perfect way to open, obviously, the set.
Yeah.
Perfect anywhere, but you were right. Peter was all over it, going all over his rig, different with his different sounds, and like you said, with the collab, and then going more atmospheric. Rick messing around with his stuff. Man, it just went so many different directions. I almost felt like for a little while they kept going into sections that they had. It almost felt so good it was pre-composed or something.
Right.
Like that a couple of them seemed like these are songs or jams that they've done before that they knew, like once somebody hits this note, we're going to transition over into this. These different sections. So like you said, I'm super interested in hearing it again.
Yeah.
But I guess it was Tumble that we kind of looked at each other, we're like, Ted tapes, like, is that Moby? Like, what is going on here? There's something in there.
It felt like there was something. It's nothing that's been released on a Ted Tapes album to date. It could be something that they've been working on behind the scenes, but it felt something that was like a Ted Tapes kind of like pre-composed vibe. So I'm curious to know if Peter notes it as a tease or a jam on something when he does put out the show officially. But I also want to mention the return to the song at the end out of that like more driving jam they were in was so perfect. We were talking about I think in the group chat, like we weren't expecting it to finish. Like this felt like a tumble that was going to be unfinished and either lead into something or end somewhere else. But the way they brought it back to the finale, they kind of came in a little hot on the ending, but it was awesome. And I think they also, there was a slight misstep. I think that they recovered nicely just by, playing the composed part again. But yeah, what did you guys think of that? Like the jam as a whole?
No, great jam. There were several times where I was like, oh, they're not going to finish the song. Like it kind of just felt like they were going to go into the next one. And then it get like super quiet and like very moody. And then all of a sudden they go just ramp it up. There were so many different like sections of the jam that felt like, and I really noticed, I think it was Tumble where Rick was using like his talkback mic and communicating with Ben a lot.
A ton.
And that was cool. But yeah, they came in super hot with the ending. And I mean, Rick, he plays that so fast. Like, I mean, I love that part.
Yeah, it was. And I saw someone's comment that the return is almost like a split open and melt return. That's what it did kind of seem like, to where it was like, oh, we're out here, we're doing such and such. And then all of a sudden he did bring that back, the ending of Tumble. But yeah, I would be curious to see if anything from Tumble becomes a tease on a next, like when you see another studio album, to where if you're like, okay, those licks came from, because with that talkback stuff, it really did look like he was conducting, saying like, we're playing a section from such song. That was cool to see.
Yeah, or just directing, which he's been doing a little bit of
awesome.
This past tour. Like we've seen it because his talkback mic goes to the whole band. So
Yeah.
for a couple of those builds, it was like, okay, modulate and hit the A, or modulate and hit the C, like what have you. Obviously, I don't know what key they were actually in, but it was really cool. It's cool to see Rick kind of utilizing that to kind of push the jams in a different direction than you get by just listening to each other. And this was absolutely amazing. And then we get a nice landing pad in a Western Sun. Always love this as a mid-second set, tune, ballad, if you will. I'm hoping that sometime soon we see the return of the Western Sun jam. We haven't seen it get jammed out since Dylan last August, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like we're a little bit due for a jammed out Western Sun, in my opinion. And then we get Arrow into Cinnamon to close the set. Pretty standard Arrow, doesn't do much outside the song, but Cinnamon, one of the band's best covers, just crushes every single time. Really phenomenal to hear once again. So what did you guys think of the rest of the second set?
I thought the Western Sun choice was perfect. Was hoping for it to be jammed out, but it's kind of weird saying, just thinking like, hey, yeah, there's a 4-song second set, and Western Sun is the shortest song. It's like the songy portion of the set, and it's not like a songy song per se.
Yeah.
But it was perfect. Arrow, I thought was, for some reason, the vibe for me in Arrow was one of my favorite of the night because they settled into a groove and just let it ride. And where everybody was kind of doing interesting stuff in pockets. And so it was just really nice to have right there. It wasn't, like you said, it didn't overly explore a lot of space, but it took you to a good spot and just kept it there. And that transition to Cinnamon was butter.
Oh yeah,
that was perfect.
Butter.
It was felt like a sneaky long Arrow, and then the transition. I mean, Cinnamon was definitely a highlight for me. Unexpected, so that was cool. A rarity. Gotta love those. And then just the chorus. I mean, power! That was amazing.
It's awesome. I don't know if you guys caught it, but it sounded like to me, and a bunch of other people heard it too, for like 20 seconds before they went into Cinnamon, it sounded like maybe they were going into Electric Avenue.
That'd be a good call. It sounded like something. And you can tell, and we figured a cover was coming at some point in the night. And when they did that, it sounded like, all right, they're transitioning into a cover. What is it? You hit the nail on the head there. That is exactly what it kind of sounds like. When you're hearing them do something, you're kind of searching through your brain.
It's like, what is it? What is it? What is it? Yeah.
So that was good. And looking forward to hearing that again because that was a great transition and a great. What was Arrow and Cinnamon? 30 minutes or so, or
ish,
35-ish minutes.
Yeah,
great way to end. And so that was vibes were really high all over the crowd for that. That was awesome.
I love it. And it was nice. They were given, I guess, an extra 15 minutes last night or some extra time, so they had time to do an encore, which was great. Their scheduled festival slot was supposed to end at 9:30 Central, but that's when the second set ended. So I figured the show was over, but they came back, nice little flongcore, if you will, flowcore, some people are calling it. I think it doesn't matter. Flow down encore, always fun. Gave me another 8 points for Fantasy Goose. So I was pretty happy about it. But what was the flow down encore like?
We had it as openers. Yeah, I think we both had a flopener choice yesterday.
Yeah.
So having it as an encore was great.
Yeah.
I think I would like it better as an opener. It was like my hot take from the show. Is like I didn't think it was the best closer, but I mean I wanted to see the song, so I didn't really care. But it was a cool way to end the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagreed. Right. I thought it was a great closer, I guess. But then we saw the printed set, and it was a little different. Like they went a little long second set, so they got a few things.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Going into night 2 tonight, what are you guys expecting and or hoping to hear?
Oh man, I would expect at least 2 of the songs that they cut last night to be played. So whether it's Jive One, Madhavan, or Slow Ready, I can almost guarantee it's Slow Ready. Madhavan, I was confused, or I was not expecting it last night after just being played a show or 2 before. But tonight, I think that I'm looking for a big hunger site, looking for Dripfield. I would think that Dripfield's coming, and hoping for something big out of like a Wisteria or a Born. Born has been just
crushing it,
tasty lately.
Oh man, it has. Wisteria's kind of due too. They haven't played it since Boise.
Yeah. So. Yeah. What did you have?
I think I picked Jive One opener, and I think an early Born, Madhavan set 1 closer.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm hoping. I know we both are 726 Dripfield in set 2, and I would love an Arcadia encore or at some
classic
point,
pairing of 726
Dude, that
Dripfield.
pairing is so good.
Yeah.
I do think you guys are getting Thatch tonight.
Have to.
Which
Yes.
I mean, neither of you have seen Thatch yet.
Nope.
which
Only
means,
listen to every version multiple times because it's incredible.
We need
of
it.
course.
Thatch fucks.
So I hope you're ready to get thatched tonight.
We are.
Yes.
And we're hoping that it's continuing the progression because every single one gets better.
Yeah, well, 40-minute thatch. It's coming.
Let's go.
I'm
It's
cool
coming.
with a one song thatch first set, some shit like that. That'd be awesome.
I would be very okay with that. But we'll see what happens. Of course, I know you guys want to head over and catch Eggy now. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of the festival. Enjoy the show tonight. Thank you so much for coming on the pod today. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat Goose with you guys. Hope we can do it again soon. So thank you.
Yeah, we would love to.
Man.
And sorry for, hopefully the audio is okay. Not really, unless we were super VIP, nowhere to hide here.
Yeah.
Right.
I know it's a little quiet now, but thanks for having us on. Love talking Goose. And if you ever want to talk DMB, let us know. Okay.
I will. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
come on and recap your show, dude.
Yeah.
I will. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's do
And everyone else watching, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Day After Show. Let us know your favorite parts of last night's show and what you were hoping to hear tonight on social media at AAT Goose Pod. Of course, we always want to hear from you. We'll be back here tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central. We will be battling. Oh, no, we will not be battling another day of festival music because it's just a 2-day festival. We will have Mr. Ryan Legvold, who we saw in the background earlier. He will be on to talk about tonight's show. And then we are off for a few weeks. The band's going to hit the studio while we get ready for the beginning of real festival season. But of course, that is a story for tomorrow. Everybody have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day, and we will see you soon.